Hello, it's Ravine here to do the weekly collective message. Happy October. This reading is for the week of the 2nd to the 8th. And where we are, the leaves are absolutely phenomenal and they are quickly falling from the trees, and it's the last of the bearing fruit, it seems, in preparation for what I keep being told is going to be an early winter. We'll see. I really feel like this reading is speaking to the balance, the opportunities, and the transformative energies, not by coincidence, that are flooding us right now. So the first card that I pulled, I'll speak to the both opportunity and transformation. So opportunity, I feel like, is speaking to the balance of reciprocity, as is actually the Six of Pentacles. Balance comes in many forms. So here I feel like there's a strong message about staying open. There is much ebb and flow, or as I like to call them, the inward and outward tides of our being. And at times, as we all go through, it is difficult to stay open. So I feel like when we are moving through our, let's call them dark nights of the soul, that inward tide, that receding tide, where all of a sudden the external is less evident and the internal is very loud. This is not, I'm sure we can all agree, not a comfortable place for most of us. And it is also yet a very sure place for transformation. It's easy to close down and to feel defeated, but it's also a reminder that staying open and flowing during these times will also yield the most abundance, healing, and transformation. The Six of Pentacles is also affirming this, and its theme is exploring that balance and reciprocity. It's a card speaking to community, support, karma, the balance of gratitude, so giving and receiving. And it is important to keep that balance. I feel like that word's going to come up many times. It's important to keep that balance by not just serving and supporting others, but also not blocking what is being given in return. So staying open to receiving the blessings as well. When out of balance, the Six of Pentacles is really speaking to expectations. So when you give, are you expecting or is there expectations to receive? And can we give with gratitude in our hearts without expecting anything in return? And these are deep-seated patterns as well that really stem from scarcity. And so, this is just something to acknowledge and not to beat ourselves up over, because it exists, I believe, in all of our collectives. And so just acknowledging and bringing that awareness, I feel like that alone can bring so much healing and so much more love and acceptance within your being. So there is also a karmic piece here that asks if you can see the divine or the beauty where you cannot necessarily see it. So those are like the gifts that are in disguise. There are many gifts being presented to us every day. And we often mistake, because I don't believe in mistakes, we often mistake these or perceive them as less than a blessing. And so it is hard to catch the lessons involved when we are resisting the process in its unfolding. The Page of Wands came next, and it is an archetype of like the adolescent youth. So when it is in balance, it is like the eager student. It is an essence of innocence and the courageous adventurer, enthusiastic, confident, and fiery by nature. It's like the inspired action to move through the old patterns and create the new ways of being or managing the ways in which we are navigating our reality. And when it's out of balance, it is like overconfident and it lacks the experience and wisdom, just like the adolescent. It can be really impulsive and restless, and sometimes there's a feeling of lack. So there's that lack coming up again, or viewing life through that scarcity mind. And acting from these places can truly throw us further into fear and anxiety and result in egoic and fruitless desire, restlessness, as was mentioned before, and instant gratification. Something else is, it often results in emptiness and even feeling loneliness, like we're not able to connect with others. So the Nine of Cups came out after, and it just feels like such a wonderful confirmation. It's such a positive card. So, especially when moving through these transformative energies, the nine is a completion card, and it's speaking to the patterns that have really run their course and are ready for release and rebalancing. We are ready for recalibrating. That is truly what I feel. So all this just needs to come up and be purged and be shifted. And I hear you. How much more? Really? How much more? But it's the peeling off the layers of the onion, and there is so much beauty and so many gifts that are really coming through if you're able to see them. So this card does warn against overindulgence, both of the mind and with the emotional body as well. So just making sure that we're really holding ourselves in love and not in that destructive mindset. However, when it is in balance, and I really feel like it's speaking to that positive and supportive nature, it's speaking to the great efforts of our self mastery. So that, really making those strides towards acknowledging and taking accountability and seeing the patterns for what they are, calling them out, and then holding space for ourselves, and being more kind, hopefully, to ourselves as well. So that self-mastery, those efforts bearing fruit, that's really what it feels like. So it's like the manifestation and the ripple effects moving out from within into the greater picture. So really seeing the results of the fruits of our labor, essentially. So it is the emotional fulfillment card. And it can also be talking about taking stock and acknowledging for oneself how far you've come. And it's also a reminder to follow your passion, your creativity, your inspiration, as it will lead you to your purpose. That is the big question. What is my purpose? So I will remind you that where energy goes, energy flows, and certainly it is what you feed that grows. And so I do have a few questions for you this week, and I will leave you with that. So how can you open and soften into the balance of your inner tides, the change and transformation? Can you identify the blessings in disguise in your life right now? Where can you bring more gratitude in? Are you able to stay open to receive the gifts that are being given? Can you look and see how far you've come and acknowledge this in celebration of self? And how can you further feed your soul, your passions, your creativity this week? If nobody told you, you're doing amazing. Blessings.